Kate and Nairi spent hours inside the alien ship talking and learning about each other. Kate listened as Nairi explained her origins from a planet called Elysia, located in what humans called the Andromeda Galaxy. My people are called Elysians. Nairi said, we are explorers and scientists. We seek knowledge across the starscape. Watched in amazement as Nairi activated more of the ship's systems. Holographic displays filled the central chamber, showing star maps and alien worlds that human eyes had never seen. Why did you come to Earth? Kate asked, still trying to process everything she was seeing. Nairi moved her long fingers through a holographic display, changing the image to show the solar system. Your planet has unique properties, Nairi explained, resources and biological diversity that are rare. We have been observing Earth for centuries. Kate felt a chill run down her spine. Are there more of you here and there? I shook her head. No. I was sent alone on a research mission to collect data and specimens. Nothing that would harm your world or its inhabitants, she added, seeing Kate's concerned expression as daylight began to fade outside the ship. Kate realized she needed to return to her cabin before dark. Nairi seemed disappointed. Will you return tomorrow? The alien asked, her indigo eyes reflecting the blue light of the ship. Kate nodded. Yes, I will, and I'll bring some supplies that might help with your repairs. That night, Kate barely slept. Her mind racing with everything she had discovered, she wondered if she should tell someone about Nairi, but who would believe her, and what might happen to the alien if the wrong people found out. The next morning, Kate filled her backpack with tools and electronic components from her cabin. She hiked back to the hidden ship, finding the path easier. The second time, Nairi was waiting for her. The ship entrance opening as Kate approached. You came back, Nairi said, a note of surprise in her musical voice. I promised I would, Kate replied, following the alien inside the ship over. The next few days, they fell into a routine. Kate would bring supplies and help Nairi work on repairs to the ship in return. Nairi taught Kate about her technology and culture. Nairi explained how Elysian society functioned without concepts, like money or nations, how they had evolved beyond warfare thousands of years ago, focusing instead on exploration and understanding the universe. The more Kate learned about Elysians, the more she admired them. They lived for hundreds of years, valued knowledge above all else, and had mastered technologies humans had only dreamed of. Kate began to understand that if humans discovered Nairi, they would likely try to take her technology by force. One evening, as they worked on repairing a damaged navigation system, Kate asked the question that had been bothering her. What happens when you fix your ship? Will you just leave? Nairi paused her work, looking at Kate with those intense indigo eyes. I must return to my people if I can. But she hesitated. I find myself reluctant to leave you behind. Kate felt her heart beat faster. What do you mean? Nairi moved closer in the soft blue light of the ship. Her pearlescent skin seemed to glow. You are unique. Kate Rogers, Nairi said softly. Different from what our studies suggested humans would be. You are kind, curious, brave. She reached out one long finger, gently touching Kate's cheek. I have grown fond of you. Kate felt her face flush at the touch. She had been trying to ignore the growing connection between them. The moment was interrupted by a sudden alarm blaring through the ship. Nairi rushed to the control panel. Her movements urgent. What is it? Kate asked, following her. Nairi looked concerned. Someone is approaching the ship. Several humans and vehicles. Kate felt panic rise in her chest. How did they find us? I do not know, Nairi replied, but they are close, peering through a newly formed viewport in the ship's hull. Kate saw dust clouds rising from the valley below. Military vehicles were making their way up the mountain road. They must have detected your ship's energy signature. Kate said, we need to hide you. There is no time. Nairi responded, her voice calm. Despite the danger, the ship is still not fully repaired. If they discover it, Kate made a quick decision. Then we need to move the ship. Can it fly at all? Nairi hesitated for only a moment. Yes, but not far and not into space. That's enough, Kate said. We just need to hide somewhere else in these mountains until we can finish repairs. Nairi nodded and began activating systems throughout the ship, lights and displays coming to life around them. Kate watched in awe as the alien worked multiple control panels simultaneously, her movements too fast to follow. The ship is weak, Nairi explained, but I can manage a short flight. We must be careful. Outside, the military vehicles were getting closer. Kate could now make out individual jeeps and what looked like equipment trucks. Hurry, Kate urged. Nairi pressed her palms against the main control panel. The ship hummed to life, vibrating beneath their feet. Dust and snow fell away from the hull as it began to rise from its resting place. Kate gripped a nearby handhold as the ship tilted slightly. Find us somewhere hidden. She called to Nairi. Somewhere. They won't look. The alien nodded, guiding the ship up and away from the approaching vehicles, keeping low to the mountains to avoid radar detection. Through the viewport, Kate watched as the military convoy reached the spot where the ship had been. Soldiers jumped out looking confused, examining the large depression in the ground. They made it, Kate thought, just in time. Nairi guided the ship deeper into the mountains, finding a narrow canyon nearly invisible from the air. She carefully maneuvered between the steep rock walls, landing gently on a small plateau. The ship systems powered down, leaving only the essential life support and soft blue emergency lighting. We should be safe here for now, Nairi said. But they will search for us, Kate. Nodded. They had bought themselves time, but their situation had become much more dangerous. How did they find us? Kate wondered aloud. Nairi accessed the ship's sensors. My energy signature was detected. She explained the ship needed power for repairs. I could not keep it dormant. Kate sat down, trying to think who would be searching for alien technology in these remote mountains and how had they detected it so quickly. We need a plan, she said, looking up at Nairi. We need to finish the repairs before they find us again. Nairi nodded, her expression solemn. We have perhaps 3 of your days before the ship's location is discovered again. Kate took a deep breath. 3 days to repair an alien spacecraft and avoid military capture. It would be impossible for most humans, but Kate Rogers was not most humans. The first night in their new hiding place, Kate and Nairi worked by the soft blue light of the ship, focusing on the most critical systems. Kate was amazed at how quickly she was learning to understand the alien technology. Naris people used a form of crystal computing that operated on principles beyond human science. But Kate found she could grasp the basic concepts with Nairi's patient guidance. We need to boost the propulsion system, Nairi explained, pointing to a damaged section of the ship. Without it, I cannot achieve escape velocity. Kate examined the crystals that powered the ship's engines. They were cracked and dim, where they should have been glowing brightly. What about replacement parts? Kate asked. Nairi shook her head sadly. The crystals are unique to my world. They cannot be replaced with Earth materials. Kate thought for a moment. What if we redirect power from non-essential systems, she suggested. Could that give us enough boost for you to escape? Nairi considered this, her indigo eyes widening. It might work, she said, but it would leave no power for life support or navigation systems. We could manually override. Kate suggested, excitement building as she worked through the problem in her mind program, a direct course before shutting down the secondary systems. Nairi smiled, a gesture she had clearly learned from watching Kate. It was both strange and beautiful on her alien features. You think like an Elysian, she said. They worked through the night redesigning the ship's power systems. Kate fell asleep briefly in the early morning hours, waking to find a soft blanket-like material covering her. Nairi sat nearby, monitoring the ship's sensors. Any sign of our friends? Kate asked. Sitting up, no, Nairi replied, but they are searching the mountains systematically. They have equipment that can detect my ship's energy signature. Even at low power, Kate stood, stretching her tired muscles. We need supplies, she said. More tools. Food for me. Water. I need to go to my cabin. Nairi looked concerned. It is dangerous, I know, Kate acknowledged, but necessary. She touched Nair's arm reassuringly. You'll be careful. They don't know about me, yet they only know something. Crashed in these mountains. Nairi nodded reluctantly. There is a path through the western ridge that should keep you hidden from their search patterns. Kate packed a small bag with items that might be useful from the ship, then followed Nair's directions, staying low and using the natural cover of trees and rocks. She made her way back toward her cabin. She had to hide as military helicopters flew overhead, searching the mountainside. Once she nearly walked into a patrol of soldiers, but ducked behind a fallen tree just in time. Reaching her cabin, Kate quickly gathered everything she thought might help: tools, food, warm clothes, batteries. electronic components that could be repurposed. She stuffed it all into a large backpack as she was about to leave. Kate noticed a military vehicle approaching on the road below her cabin. Quickly, she grabbed her phone and deleted any photos or notes that might connect her to Neri, then slipped out the back door, disappearing into the forest. Just as the vehicle pulled up, Kate made her way back to the hidden ship, moving carefully and staying out of sight. When she finally reached the canyon, Neri was waiting anxiously at the entrance to the ship. "You are safe," Neri said, relief evident in her voice. "I was worried." "I'm fine," Kate assured her. "But they are expanding their search." They reached my cabin. Neri's expression grew serious. "We must work faster over the next day." They implemented their plan, rerouting power systems, bypassing damaged components, and strengthening the propulsion crystals with Kate's improvised solutions. As they worked, their hands occasionally touched their eyes, meeting in moments of connection that went beyond words. Kate found herself thinking about what would happen when the ship was repaired. Would Neri really leave? Would Kate ever see her again? By evening of the second day, they had made significant progress. The ship was nearly ready for a launch attempt. "We should test the systems," Neri suggested. Kate nodded, but keeping her voice low. "Even though we are hidden, a power surge might be detected." Neri agreed. "We will run a minimal test, just enough to confirm our modifications are working." The alien activated the main console, her long fingers dancing across the controls. The ship hummed to life systems powering up in sequence. The propulsion crystals glowed brighter than before, Kate noted with satisfaction, but not yet at full capacity. Suddenly, Neri's hands froze over the controls, her head tilting in that bird-like manner that Kate had come to recognize as concern. "What is it?" Kate asked. Neri looked at her sensors, detecting multiple vehicles approaching the canyon. "They are coming directly toward us." Kate felt her heart sink. They must have detected the power signature. Neri shut down the systems quickly, but it was too late. "They know we are here." She confirmed. "How much time do we have?" Kate asked. Neri checked the sensors. "Perhaps 30 minutes. They are moving cautiously." Kate thought quickly. "If they catch us here, they'll take the ship and you'll never get home." "What can we do?" Neri asked. An idea formed in Kate's mind, one she knew was dangerous but might be their only option. "Can the ship fly now?" She asked. "Not to space, but just enough to get away." Neri hesitated. "The propulsion system is at 70% capacity, enough for atmospheric flight, but not stable." "It's our only chance," Kate urged. "We need to leave before they block us in." Neri nodded and began the launch sequence. The ship vibrated as systems came online, power flowing through the crystal matrices. Kate secured their supplies. Watching as Neri prepared for flight through the viewport, she could see dust clouds rising as the military vehicles approached the entrance to the canyon. "Are you sure about this?" Neri asked, her indigo eyes searching Kate's face. "Once we leave this hiding place, we will be exposed, vulnerable." Kate took a deep breath. "No, I'm not sure, but I know we can stay here." She moved to stand beside Neri at the control panel. "I trust you." Neri nodded and placed her hands on the main controls. The ship rose smoothly from the canyon floor, hovering for a moment before shooting forward. Kate watched in amazement as the canyon walls blurred past them, Neri's piloting skills evident in every precise movement of the ship. They burst out of the canyon just as the first military vehicles arrived, soldiers pointing upward as the alien craft soared overhead. "Where are we going?" Kate called over the sound of the straining engines. Neri guided the ship higher, skimming the tops of mountains. The mountains to the north are more remote, she answered, less accessible to their vehicles. As they flew, Kate saw military helicopters turning to follow them, their weapon systems clearly visible. "They're going to shoot us down," Kate warned. Neri nodded grimly. Increasing power to the engines, the ship lurched forward, picking up speed. The helicopters fell behind, unable to match their velocity. But the sudden acceleration had consequences. Warning lights flashed across the control panel and the ship began to shudder. "Crystals are overheating," Neri explained, her voice tense. "We cannot maintain this speed." In the distance, Kate saw a massive storm front moving across the mountains, dark clouds and lightning offering potential coverhead for the storm. Kate suggested, "They won't be able to follow us in." That Neri looked uncertain. "The ship is damaged. We may not survive such conditions." "It's our only chance," Kate said. Neri hesitated only a moment before adjusting their course toward the approaching storm clouds. The ship plunged into the dark wall of the storm and everything went black. Lightning flashed all around them as the ship was tossed by powerful winds. Kate gripped the nearest handhold. Her knuckles white Nairi fought with the controls. Her long fingers moving rapidly over the glowing panels hold on Nairi called as the ship dropped suddenly in an air pocket. Kate felt weightless for a terrifying moment before gravity returned with a jolt. Through the viewport, Kate could see nothing but swirling clouds occasionally illuminated by brilliant flashes of lightning. The ship's hull creaked under the strain. Alarms blaring from multiple systems. Can we make it? Kate shouted over the noise. Nairi did not answer, her focus entirely on keeping the ship airborne. Kate watched as the alien's normally calm demeanor gave way to intense concentration sweat or something like it, beating on her pearlescent skin. Suddenly the ship broke through the storm wall, emerging into clear air on the other side. Kate caught her breath at the view before them. Towering mountains stretched into the distance, their peaks gleaming with snow below a vast forest spread out like a green carpet. We lost them, Kate said, looking back at the wall of dark clouds behind them. No helicopter could have followed through. That Nairi nodded, but her expression remained grim. The ship is critically damaged. She reported the main propulsion crystal has fractured. What does that mean? Kate asked. Nairi gestured to the displays showing the ship systems. Most were flashing red. We can maintain flight for perhaps another 20 minutes before complete failure. Kate felt her heart sink. We need to land, find somewhere to hide, and make repairs. Nairi guided the ship lower, searching for a suitable landing site. The mountains here were steeper, more rugged with fewer flat areas. There Kate pointed to a small plateau halfway up a mountainside hidden from below by a ridge of rock. Nairi nodded and carefully maneuvered the failing ship toward the plateau. The landing was rough, the ship skidding on loose rock before coming to rest against the mountain wall system shutting down. Nairi announced as lights flickered and died throughout the ship, leaving only the dim emergency lighting. We safe? Kate asked. For now, Nairi replied, but the ship is no longer capable of spaceflight. She touched the main console gently, like comforting a wounded animal. Too many systems are beyond repair. Kate sat down. Processing this information, we survived, that's what matters, she said. We can figure out the rest. Nairi joined her, sitting gracefully despite her tall frame. I cannot return to my people, she said. Her musical voice tinged with sadness. Kate reached out, taking Naira's hand without thinking. The alien's skin was warm under her touch, softer than human skin but with a subtle texture like fine silk. We're not giving up, Kate said firmly. There has to be a way to repair the ship. Nairi shook her head. The damage is too extensive. The main crystal cannot be repaired with available materials. She looked at Kate directly. My fate is to remain on Earth. Kate felt a complex mix of emotions. Sadness for Naira's loss, but also a selfish happiness that the alien would not be leaving. If you can't leave, then we need to keep you safe, Kate said. The military is still looking for you. Nairi nodded. They will not stop their search, she agreed. Even if they cannot find the ship, they have detected its presence. They know something not of this world is here. Kate thought for a moment. There are good people. I could contact scientists who would protect you. Keep your presence secret. Nairi looked uncertain. Your species fears what it does not understand, Kate. Even your scientists might see me as a specimen to study rather than a being with rights. Kate couldn't argue with that assessment. Her own world's history was filled with examples of mistreatment in the name of science. What would your people do if they were here? Kate asked. Nairi closed her eyes briefly. If my people were here, they would extract me and leave no trace of our presence. It is our protocol for worlds not ready for contact. Kate stood up, pacing the small space of the damaged ship. Then that's what we need to do, she said. We need to disappear. Make them think you're gone. How would we accomplish this? Nairi asked. Kate turned a plan forming in her mind. We use what remains of your ship's power to create a massive energy signature like an explosion. Then we escape on foot. Nairi considered this. It could work. She agreed the ship's remaining power could be channeled to create such an effect, but once done, the ship would be permanently disabled. No chance of repair. Kate nodded, understanding the sacrifice Nairi would be making. Are you sure? Nairi stood, her tall form graceful even in the cramped space. My ship is already beyond repair for space travel, she said. There is nothing to lose. They spent the next hours preparing. Nairi gathered essential technology from the ship. Small devices that could be carried while Kate prepared survival. Packs with food, water, and supplies as night fell. They were ready. Nairi programmed the ship's remaining power to channel into one massive energy discharge set on a timer. This will create a signature similar to a crash and explosion, Nairi explained. It should convince your military that the ship was destroyed. And what about the actual ship? Kate asked. Nairi touched the console one last time. The materials will begin to dissolve once the energy is released within hours. There will be nothing left. But Kate felt a pang of sadness watching Nairi say goodbye to her ship. It had been her home, her last connection to her people. We have 10 minutes, Nairi announced after setting the final sequence. They gathered their packs and moved to the exit. Kate took one last look at the alien vessel that had changed her life forever, then followed Nairi outside. They climbed down from the plateau, finding a path that led deeper into the wilderness away from the ship when they were about a mile away. They stopped turning to watch. The night sky suddenly lit up as a brilliant blue light erupted from the mountain where the ship had been. The light pulsed, growing brighter before a shockwave of energy expanded outward, the sound reaching them seconds later like distant thunder. That should convince them, Nairi said, watching as the light faded. They will find traces of exotic materials, but no technology. Nothing that could be studied or reverse engineered. Kate nodded. Let's keep moving, she said. We need to put as much distance as possible between us and that site before morning. They traveled through the night, Nairi, seeing perfectly in the darkness, guiding Kate along safe paths as dawn broke. They had reached a valley several miles from the destroyed ship. They rested by a small stream, Kate refilling their water bottles while Nairi scanned the area with a small device she had salvaged from the ship. Any sign of pursuit? Kate asked. Nairi shook her head. They are converging on the explosion. Site as expected, she said. But there are search parties spreading outward. They will reach this valley by midday. We need to keep moving, Kate said after a brief rest. Where should we go? Nairi considered the question. I have been monitoring your global communication network. She said there are remote regions where surveillance is minimal, places we could remain undetected. Kate thought about what that would mean, leaving her life behind, becoming a fugitive with an alien. But looking at Nairi, she realized she had already made her choice the moment she decided to help. How far are we from the nearest town? Kate asked. Approximately 15 miles, Nairi replied. Kate nodded. We can get supplies there, maybe find transportation. She looked at Nairi. We need to disguise you somehow. Nairi touched a device on her wrist. Suddenly her appearance shifted, her skin tone changing to match Kate's, her height reducing slightly. Her most alien features softening. Holographic disguise. Nairi explained it will not withstand close inspection, but from a distance I will appear human. Kate stared in amazement. That will help, she said, gathering her pack. Let's go. We have a long walk ahead of us. As they set off through the forest, Kate realized their journey was just beginning. They were two beings from different worlds, now bound together by circumstance and something more, something neither had expected to find. Behind them, military helicopters circled the mountain where the ship had been destroyed. Scientists and soldiers examining the mysterious residue that was all that remained of the alien vessel. Ahead of them lay uncertainty, danger, but also possibility. The human and the alien walked side by side into their future. They reached the small town just as the sun was setting, Nairi wearing her holographic disguise that made her appear human to casual observers. Kate led the way, trying to act normal, despite her racing heart. The town consisted of one main street, with a general store, gas station, and small diner. Kate had just enough cash in her emergency funds to buy essential supplies and maybe bus tickets. Wait here, Kate told Nairi, positioning her in a quiet spot behind the general store. I'll get what we need. Nairi nodded, adjusting her disguise, the device on her wrist humming softly. Be careful, she said. The military will have alerted local authorities. Kate entered the store, picking up non-perishable food, first aid supplies, and a road map. She approached the counter where an older woman was watching a small television. Kate froze when she saw what was on the screen. A news report about unusual activity in the mountains. Military vehicles were visible in the background, and a reporter was talking about a possible meteor crash. Anything else, honey? The clerk asked. Kate snapped her attention back to the transaction. No, that's all she said. Trying to keep her voice steady, as the clerk rang up the items, Kate casually asked, "Is there a bus that comes through?" "Here twice daily." The woman replied, "Morning and evening. The evening bus already left. Next one is at 8 tomorrow morning, goes south to Denver." "Thank you." Kate paid for the supplies and left quickly, returning to where Nairi waited. "We need to find somewhere to spend the night." Kate explained, showing Nairi the supplies she had purchased. "The bus doesn't leave until morning." Nairi looked concerned, her disguise flickering slightly as she spoke. "Being stationary increases our risk of detection." "No," Kate agreed, "but we need rest, and the bus is our best option for getting far away quickly." She looked around. "There are woods behind the town. We can camp there tonight." They found a secluded spot among the trees, far enough from town to be safe, but close enough to reach the bus stop in the morning. Kate set up a small camp while Nairi used her devices to monitor communications. Military search has expanded. Nairi reported they are setting up checkpoints on major roads. Kate unfolded the map. She had bought, tracing possible routes with her finger. "If we take the bus south to Denver, then we can transfer to another heading west." She suggested, "They won't expect us to use public transportation there." I nodded, studying the map. "My scan indicates military presence is concentrated to the north and east where the ship was found. Heading west is logical." As night fell, the temperature dropped. Kate shared her blanket with Nairi, the two sitting close together for warmth, looking up at the stars, shining brightly in the clear mountain sky. "That's where your home is?" Kate asked, pointing to the distant stars. Nairi nodded. "Elysia orbits a star in what you call the Andromeda Galaxy." She pointed to a faint smudge of light barely visible to Kate's human eyes, home to billions of my kind. "Do you miss it?" Kate asked. Nairi was quiet for a moment. "Yes," she finally said, "but my people live for centuries. We are accustomed to long separations from home." She turned to look at Kate, her indigo eyes reflecting. "Starlight, I find I am more concerned about my present situation than my lost home." "What do you mean?" Kate asked. Nairi gestured to the world around them. "I am stranded on a planet where I must hide my true nature forever, hunted by your military forces." She paused. "I cannot blend in permanently among humans without help." Kate reached out, taking Naira's hand. "You have my help?" She promised, "for as long as you need it." Nairi smiled, that expression she'd learned from Kate. "I am fortunate that of all humans, on this planet you are the one who found me." They slept in shifts, Kate taking the first watch while Nairi rested, though she explained Elysians required less sleep than humans. When it was Kate's turn to sleep, she found it difficult, her mind racing, with plans and worries. Morning came too quickly. Kate packed their few belongings while Nairi scanned the surroundings. "All clear," Nairi reported, "though there is increased communication on military channels. They are expanding the search. We need to hurry." Kate said, "The bus will be here soon." They made their way to the small bus stop on the edge of town. A few other travelers were already waiting. An elderly couple and a young man with a backpack. Kate kept Nairi at a distance, trying not to draw attention. When the bus arrived, they boarded quickly, Kate paying cash for 2 tickets to Denver. They took seats at the back, Nairi by the window, her holographic disguise functioning perfectly, though Kate noticed it occasionally flickered when Nairi was tired as the bus pulled away. Kate felt a moment of relief they had made it out of the immediate search area, but she knew their journey was just beginning. The bus traveled south through mountain passes and valleys, occasionally stopping at small towns to pick up or drop off passengers. Kate remained vigilant, watching for any sign of military presence or police. Nairi used her small device to monitor communications, her expression growing more concerned as the journey continued. "What is it?" Kate whispered. Nairi kept her voice low. "They have expanded the search parameters," she explained. "They are now looking for 2 individuals, a woman matching your description, and an unknown companion." Kate felt a chill. "They know about?" Nairi nodded. "It appears they reviewed footage from surveillance cameras near your cabin. They know someone was living there and is now missing." Kate hadn't considered that possibility. She'd been so focused on protecting Nairi, she hadn't thought about becoming a suspect herself. "What do we do now?" Kate asked. Nairi thought for a moment. "Your appearance is easier to alter than my holographic signature." She said, "We should change how you look," when the bus stopped at a small town for a lunch break. Kate bought hair, dye and scissors from a local pharmacy using the station restroom. She cut her long brown hair into a short style and dyed it black, looking at her reflection. Kate barely recognized herself. The transformation was startling but necessary when she rejoined Nairi. The alien studied her with interest and effective disguise. Nairi commented, "You appear significantly different." They continued their journey, reaching Denver by late afternoon. The city was overwhelming after days in the wilderness. Tall buildings, crowds of people, and increased security. They need to transfer to another bus. But Kate noticed police officers checking IDs at the station. "We can't go in there," Kate whispered, pulling Nairi aside. "They're checking identification." Nairi scanned the area, her device hidden in her palm. "We need alternative transportation," she said. Kate thought quickly, then spotted a bulletin board with local advertisements. Someone was offering ride shares west to Salt Lake City. They approached the advertiser, a college student named Maya, who was happy to have 2 more passengers to share gas money road trip. Maya said cheerfully as they loaded into her old car heading west out of Denver. "You guys going all the way to Salt Lake, just as far west as you're going," Kate replied, keeping her answers vague. As they drove through the Rocky Mountains, Kate and Nairi exchanged glances in the back seat, both knowing they were leaving behind any familiar territory heading into an unknown future. Maya proved to be talkative but uninterested in their personal details, more focused on telling them about her own life, which suited Kate perfectly. By nightfall, they had crossed the Colorado border. Maya pulling into a motel for the night, Kate paid for a separate room for her and Nairi, using some of their dwindling cash alone in the motel room. Nairi removed her holographic disguise, her true form returning, her skin shifting back to its pearlescent blue. Her height increasing, her alien features no longer hidden. The disguise drains power. Nairi explained it cannot be maintained indefinitely. Kate sat on the bed watching as Nairi used some of her salvage technology to recharge the disguise device. "What happens when your technology stops working?" Kate asked the question she'd been avoiding. Nairi looked at her directly. "Then I will be discovered," she said simply. "And your world is not ready for my existence." Kate moved to sit beside Nairi. "I won't let that happen," she promised. Nairi touched Kate's face. Gently, "You humans have such short lives but such determination," she said, her voice soft. "You make promises even when you cannot know if you can keep them. We have to try," Kate said, looking into Naira's indigo eyes. "We have to believe we can find a way outside." Their room cars passed on the highway heading west, like them searching for something new. Somewhere to belong. Kate Rogers had never imagined her life would take such a turn. But looking at the alien beside her, she felt no regret, only determination to protect this extraordinary being who had fallen to Earth and into her life. 3 months passed. Kate and Nairi had made their way to the Pacific Northwest, finding refuge in a small cabin Kate rented using false identification papers they had obtained through connections Maya had introduced them to in Salt Lake City. The cabin was isolated deep in the forests of Oregon, miles from the nearest neighbor, with a small creek nearby and mountains rising in the distance. It reminded Nairi of where they had first met. Kate had found work in the nearest town as a mechanic, her natural ability with machines making her valuable. Despite her limited documentation, she used her earnings to support them, keeping their existence as quiet as possible. Nairi spent her days studying Earth culture through books and limited internet access Kate brought her. She was fascinated by human art, music, and literature, often asking Kate questions that revealed how different their species were. "Why do humans create stories about imaginary events?" Nairi asked one evening as they sat by the fireplace Kate had built. Kate thought about how to explain fiction to someone from a species that apparently didn't have it. "I think we use stories to understand ourselves," she said, "to explore possibilities we can experience directly." Nairi considered. "This my people record events and knowledge," she said. "But we do not invent narratives." She looked at the book in her hands, her expression curious. "It is a unique human trait, one I find intriguing." Kate smiled, watching as Nairi continued reading the novel she had given her. The alien had adapted remarkably well to life on Earth, learning to cook simple meals, wear human clothing, and even use appliances, though technology beyond the 21st century level seemed primitive to her. But there were constant reminders of the danger they faced. The news still occasionally mentioned the unexplained phenomena in the mountains. Military officials denied any alien involvement, calling it a weather research project that had malfunctioned. Kate knew. Better they were still searching, expanding their efforts as months passed, though the focus had shifted away from the original crash site. One evening, as autumn leaves fell around their cabin, Kate returned from work to find Nairi outside looking up at the night sky. Her holographic disguise deactivated her true alien form, visible in the moonlight. "It's beautiful here," Nairi said as Kate approached. "So different from my world. The air, the sounds, the smells." She gestured to the forest around them. "There is a wildness to Earth we don't have on Elysia." Kate stood beside her, their shoulders nearly touching. "Do you regret staying?" She asked the question that had lingered between them. Neri was quiet for a moment. "I miss my people," she admitted. "My purpose, my place in society." But she turned to Kate, her indigo eyes reflecting starlight. "I have found something unexpected here, something we do not have on Elysia." "What is that?" Kate asked. "Connection?" Nairi replied, "One being to another, not the collective. Harmony of my people, but something individual, precious." She reached for Kate's hand, her long fingers intertwining with human ones. "My people would not understand the value of such a connection. We are more concerned with collective knowledge than individual bonds." Kate felt her heartbeat faster, understanding what Nairi was trying to say. "I never expected to find you," she said, "but now I can imagine my life without you." They stood together under the stars. Two beings from different worlds who had found something neither had been looking for. Their peaceful existence was shattered a week later when Kate returned from town, her truck speeding up the dirt road to their cabin. "We need to leave," Kate announced, bursting through the door. "Pack only what you can carry." Neri looked up from her reading What Has Happened. Kate was already gathering their emergency bags. "They found us," she explained. "Somehow they traced us here. There's a military convoy heading this way." Neri moved quickly, activating her disguise and helping Kate pack their most important belongings, including the alien technology she'd salvaged. "How much time do we have?" "An hour, maybe less," Kate said. "I saw them at the main road checkpoint. They were showing my picture." They loaded their bags into Kate's truck, driving away from the cabin that had been their home, heading deeper into the forest on logging roads Kate had discovered during her explorations. "We can't keep running forever," Neri said as the truck bounced over the rough terrain. "No," Kate agreed. "But we need a better plan than just hiding." Her hands gripped the steering wheel tightly. "They keep finding us no matter how careful we are." Neri used her device to scan for signals. "Something is tracking us," she said. After a moment, "It is not my technology." Kate thought quickly the supplies she had taken from the ship. Maybe something among them had been tagged. "We need to ditch everything," Kate said. "Except your personal devices. We can't risk keeping anything that might be tracked." They stopped by a river, transferring only the essentials to backpacks, abandoning the truck and everything else. Kate watched as Nairi placed her salvaged technology into the river, the current carrying it away. They continued on foot, following the river downstream. As darkness fell, they could hear helicopters in the distance searching the forest. "We need help," Kate said finally. "Someone with resources who can protect you." Neri looked skeptical. Who would help an alien and a human? Fugitive Kate had been considering this question for months. There was one possibility: a scientist she had read about who had advocated for the ethical treatment of potential extraterrestrial life, Dr. Lily Morgan, a xenobiologist who had faced ridicule from her peers for her views. Dr. Morgan has a research facility in Northern California. Kate explained. "She's been vocal about peaceful contact with alien life." "It is a risk," Neri said. "Everything is a risk," Kate replied. "But we can't keep running forever." They traveled south for days, avoiding roads and towns, living off the land and the few supplies they had kept, crossing from Oregon into Northern California. Kate had memorized the location of Dr. Morgan's research facility, a private compound funded by her family fortune. When they finally reached the perimeter of the facility, Kate approached alone, leaving Neri hidden in the woods. She found a security intercom at the gate. "I'm here to see Dr. Morgan," Kate said into the speaker. "It's regarding her research on extraterrestrial contacts." He was met with silence. Then a cautious voice asked, "Who are you?" "Someone with proof her theories are correct," Kate replied. Minutes later, Kate was escorted into an office where Dr. Morgan waited, a tall woman with silver hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. "You claim to have proof of extraterrestrial contact," Dr. Morgan said. Her voice neutral. Kate took a deep breath. "I'm not here to expose anything to the public," she said. "I'm here because we need help." Dr. Morgan's eyebrow raised. Kate explained everything from finding Naira's ship in the mountains to their months on the run. Watching Dr. Morgan's expression shift from skepticism to astonishment, "You actually found an alien being," Dr. Morgan said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Not just found," Kate corrected. "Helped her, and now she's my friend. She's being hunted by military forces who want to capture and study her." "Where is she now?" Dr. Morgan asked. "Safe," Kate said, "but I won't reveal her location unless I know you will help protect her." Dr. Morgan was silent for a long moment, then stood. "If what you're saying is true, this changes everything we've understood about life in the universe. It changes everything." Kate agreed. "But Nairi isn't a research subject. She's a person. With rights, she needs asylum, not examination." Dr. Morgan nodded slowly. "I have connections," she said. "People who believe as I do. That first contact should be peaceful. Diplomatic. Not a military operation." She looked at Kate directly. "Bring her here. I will help you both." That night, Kate led Nairi to the facility. Dr. Morgan waiting at a private entrance when Nairi deactivated her disguise, revealing her true form. Dr. Morgan gasped, her scientific composure momentarily broken. "Welcome to Earth," Dr. Morgan said, finally extending her hand in greeting. Nairi inclined her head in the Elysian gesture of respect. "Thank you for your assistance." In the following weeks, Dr. Morgan provided them with new identities, secure communications, and protection from government searches. She assembled a small team of trusted scientists who worked with Nairi, learning about Elysian technology and culture. In return, Nairi shared knowledge that would benefit humanity, advances in medicine, energy, and environmental science. One evening, 6 months after their arrival at the facility, Kate found Nairi in the garden looking up at the stars. "Do you still think about going home?" Kate asked. Joining her, Nairi turned, her indigo eyes reflecting moonlight. "Elysia will always be where I came from," she said, "but home?" She reached for Kate's hand, "is where one belongs." Kate felt tears in her eyes. Despite everything they had been through, the danger, the running, the fear, she wouldn't change any of it. "What happens now?" Kate asked. Nairi smiled, that expression she had learned from humans one day. "My people may come looking for me," she said, "and when they do, they will find that humans are not what our studies suggested, that you are capable of compassion, courage, and connection." She looked at the facility where humans and an alien work together in harmony. "Perhaps then real contact between our worlds will be possible." Kate looked up at the stars, thinking about the vastness of space and the unlikelihood of their meeting, two beings from different worlds finding each other against impossible odds. "Until then," Kate said, squeezing Naira's hand, "we make our own future right here above them." The stars continued their eternal dance, galaxies spinning in the darkness, the universe vast and mysterious, but no longer quite so lonely.